This episode of the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast is brought to you by the Grotto Pizzeria at 302 East Main Street in Talent.
It's the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. Each month, we take a look at the performing arts scene in the Rogue Valley and visit with the artists who bring the shows to life. From Camelot Theater in Talent, here's your host, Brian O'Connor.
And welcome to the second episode of the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast from Camelot Theater in Talent on the corner of Broadway Alley and Talent Avenue. I'm Brian O'Connor, your host. We have a very exciting episode this month. Camelot Theater just opened Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett, our third in our Spotlight series for the 2024 season. We're going to be chatting with the cast of that Spotlight. Also, Camelot recently announced their 2025 season, and later in the podcast, we're going to be joined by Camelot Artistic Director Gwen Overland, and she is going to go over the new season in depth. We'll tell you about all of the exciting shows coming up. We've got big Broadway musicals, we've got dramas, we've got spotlights, and some other specialty shows, so very excited to bring you that. And now we are joined by the cast of Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett. We have Robbie DaCosta, who is your Jimmy Buffett, Autumn Smith, who plays the conga drums and also a backup singer and a narrator, and Shalise Kadeen, who is also a backup singer, plays harmonica. And Robbie DaCosta, Jimmy Buffett, you are very well known to everybody in the Rogue Valley. You've been playing, gigs all over for a very long time. When did you start playing professionally?
I think it was 1805. No, it was 1989. And I've been doing it for quite a time, doing a lot of various things. I love Camelot. It's absolutely amazing. And what an amazing and challenging for me with all the words, a great show. And with wonderful backing vocals, great harmony, and what a band.
What a band. And we want to mention the band members, too, because we really pulled out all the stops on this show. So we have the incredible Carl Iverson, who is our musical director for this show. We have Larry Smith on bass. We have Will Lowery on guitar, Steve Sutphin on drums. And we have the incomparable Scott McGuire. He plays pedal steel and mallets, does little background vocals as well. So I want to hear about your background in music. Like you said, you started pretty young. How did you get into music?
Well, it was always basically very strong in the house. Like my dad would always be singing, and he played guitar, and my Uncle Johnny was a professional drummer in L.A. for years upon years, and we'd be sitting at the breakfast table, and we'd have forks and spoons, and before you know it, we'd be tapping. Next thing you know, it'd be like a drum set. So it was just very natural. And then I started playing at 16 years old, and then I began a band with my dad, and we did a 50s, 60s, 70s rock and roll tribute act. Mm-hmm. And then we ended up opening for a lot of legends of rock and roll, like Jerry Lee Lewis and Sean Na and the Shirelles, all these groups. And it was fantastic.
Yeah. And we want to mention the name of that group because I think everybody's going to remember.
Oh, the Fabulous Fairlanes.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. 1989, is that the year?
We went to about 2000, did a few things after. And
okay.
What a blast it was. And I'm very honored that I had the chance to be in a band with my dad and my uncle.
Right, a family affair.
Absolutely.
And then you've been kind of doing your own thing here, playing all over the valley. And you've done spotlights with us before. You were in The Day the Music Died.
That was amazingly fun.
Yeah, that was a fun show. The Big Bopper and Richie Valens and Buddy Holly, of course.
Yes.
Buddy Holly. So that was a fabulous show. You got to be the Big Bopper and play some guitar and thrill everybody in that show.
What a blast. Everything that I've ever done with Camelot has been nothing short of absolutely amazing to me. It's been so fun.
Now, that was more of an ensemble piece. This, you kind of are Jimmy Buffett.
I kind of am, and I'm so glad that now that it's getting run and we're doing it, I'm starting to feel more comfortable, and what a great reception everybody gave, and I'm just so honored and blessed. Thank you all so much for coming out and supporting it.
Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett runs through September 1st, so if you're hearing this in the month of August, you still have plenty of time, so get your tickets online at CamelotTheater.org. Autumn Smith, also here. She is one of the backup singers, as we mentioned. How are you?
I'm good, Brian. How are you?
Good. Now, you're a little bit younger than Robbie and I, and Shalise also in that category. So you may not have grown up with Jimmy Buffett, or were you? How familiar were you with Jimmy Buffett's music heading into this project?
I knew the song Margaritaville.
Right.
And that's it.
Okay.
So as I was listening to all the songs, there was somewhere I was like, oh, I recognize this, or I know some of the words, but Margaritaville was really the only song that I knew.
I think a lot of people are going to do that. They come in knowing, a few. And now you're going to have his diehard fans who are going to come in and know everything. But I think people are going to hear some of these songs and go, oh, that's Jimmy Buffett. I know that song. Yeah. What's one of the things you've learned about him that you didn't know coming into this?
A lot of his songs sound unique from each other. So it seems like he played across a bunch of different genres. As I'm listening to like my playlist of all the Jimmy Buffett songs, it's like most of them sound pretty... not similar, but like they're in the same genre. But some of them are just like you get thrown in and you're like, wow, this sounds like it's a completely different artist and genre.
Right.
And I thought that was pretty interesting when I first started listening to his songs in depth.
Right, exactly. I think, you're really onto something. And the lyrics are very interesting too. There's a lot of songs that they're just very fun lyrics, but there's some kind of philosophical things going on there too. So is that what you found, Robbie?
Absolutely. I feel that he is often looked at as being just fun, free-loving music, which he is, but also he had a deeper side. And some of the lyrics are, well, especially as I analyze them and learn them, and I'm even still learning them, I find them to be very, very, very strong, how they convey so much of the heart and so much of many different angles of life.
Right. Now, you've done shows with us before. Autumn, this is your third show that you've done with us?
Yes.
So you were in what other shows here?
I did Wizard of Oz last winter, and I was just in Anything Goes.
So you came off of one big show and jumped right into another show.
Yes.
As actors do in the theater world. They can't wait to get back on stage. For Spotlight, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's my first Spotlight. I've never even seen one before. So.
Well, and now you're right in the heart of one.
Yeah, it was definitely a challenge to jump right into it.
Sure. Shalise Kadeen, how are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Good. And you are one of the backup singers, as we mentioned,
am.
and playing some instrumentation and a narrator as well. The really cool thing about these spotlights, you get the music, which is what people really enjoy, but you also get the story of their life as well in bite-sized pieces, as you're going to get in this show. Is this your first spotlight with us? Because you've done a few shows with us too.
I have. This is my first one being in.
Okay.
A lot of them I've helped out with and, done lights and helped out in that aspect.
Been behind the scenes on
behind
these.
the scenes, but this is my first one being in, and it's a lot of fun.
I was going to say, what's your experience been like so far?
Like kind of like what Autumn said, like the music I'm growing on, and it's very different from music I grew up listening to, of course. But I just love how he tells stories. That's a big thing. He talks about it a lot. He loves telling stories. And I find that very interesting because you get so many interesting stories. I'm like, where did that come from?
Right.
Like, where did you think of that? Like, you never know. With this guy, he's always thinking of many stories. And that's what he likes to do, is he loves to tell stories and get people listening to him that way.
Yeah.
And I love that about Jimmy Buffett. He's a funny guy. He has funny stories, interesting stories, like you said. But a lot of them have some unique part of themselves about it. Yeah.
And I think with this show, you get to learn a lot about where that came from. There's some very funny stories that we learn about Jimmy Buffett in the show as well. And of course, he was a very, very shrewd businessman too.
Oh, yeah.
And you look at the Margaritaville restaurant chain. He had the Cheeseburger in Paradise restaurant chain, no longer exists, but the guy did very well for himself in the business world as well. We are chatting with the cast of Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett. The show runs through September the 1st at Camelot Theater. You can get your tickets online at camelottheater.org, and we will continue our discussion coming up next.
This episode of Where Broadway Meets Talent is brought to you by the Grotto Pizzeria at 302 East Main Street in Talent. You'll find amazing soups, salads, sandwiches, pizzas, and now their new Italian cannolis, while supplies last. Order ahead at thegrottopizzeria.com for takeout and delivery. And The Grotto is now offering pickup and deliveries on Sundays too, from 5 to 8 p.m. to support talent and Phoenix Sunday suppers. Bring in a ticket stub from Camelot Theater and receive a 15% discount. The Grotto Pizzeria in Talent, proud sponsor of the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast.
It's the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. From Camelot Theater and Talent, here's your host, Brian O'Connor.
And back to Where Broadway Meets Talent, Camelot Theater's podcast, talking with the cast of Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett, runs through September the 1st. And did Jimmy Buffett have an impact on you growing up, Robbie?
You know, actually, I kind of found him late in the game. It's interesting. I think his big song, Come Monday, I believe it was 74, I think, if my memory serves me right. And I was born in 73.
Yeah.
But I would always hear him play it on the radio. And I didn't even when I was young, I didn't know who it was. But I was like, oh, I like that. Yeah, that's got a good vibe to it. And as Shalice was saying, it's very true. I did not realize what a storyteller he was. And now I'm falling more in love with what he did. It's fantastic stuff. So
yeah, it really is. It is good music. And, you know, the girl's a little bit younger, obviously. And as you mentioned, may not necessarily have grown up, but you're discovering the music now. Has it had kind of any kind of an impact on your lives as you've been a part of this process over the last few weeks?
I think that it's honestly opened me to more genres of music. I listen to a lot of things, and I always have, just because that's what I enjoy. And I've really enjoyed listening to his music. Like, I've added some of his songs to my playlists. So I think that's the biggest impact he's had. You know, music's always been really important to me. And being able to expand that horizon, it's really nice getting some new music.
What about you, Shalice?
I think the same thing. I've added a few of his songs to my playlist as well. Because I always thought of him as just like, you know, Jamaican, like Gulf kind of style, but he grew up also doing country,
right?
Which I never thought to think of for him, kind of thing. But I thought that was, molding two genres together and making it his own genre was really cool too.
Absolutely.
And I like that about him, and I think it's grown on me as well, for sure.
Yeah, me too.
I think the show just really has a party vibe to it, and I think when you see the set and you see the lights and the projections and all of the technical aspects of the show, it just makes you feel like you're on a tropical island with everybody, just enjoying the music and having a good time. And I think if you watched a Jimmy Buffett concert, you can see some stuff on YouTube. If you ever saw him live, that's kind of what, you know, his shows just oozed. It was just here to have a good time.
I can just see it in the audience too. I've seen some live videos before, and they just have fun.
Oh yeah,
they're throwing beach balls around. You know, they're just doing whatever, and they're just there to have fun. And I feel like that's what Jimmy's intention was: is just to live carefree and have fun.
Well, and even watching this production, you all are having such a good time up on stage. You can tell that you're really getting into it, and the music is there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I think, do you have a favorite moment in the show? Anybody have a favorite song or a favorite moment?
You know, actually, I would say that there are a multitude of different aspects of what I'm enjoying so far. I don't want to give any spoilers.
Right.
Okay, but what I will say is that it feels spontaneous and happy and fun. And I have looked at a lot of his clips and seen his concerts. I've also known people that have gone to his shows. I have a friend who saw him 5 times and said that each time, even if he did the same songs, it was always brand new and awesome and wonderful. And so I'm just having a blast with every aspect of it.
Right. What about you two?
I've really enjoyed learning Trip Around the Sun.
Yeah.
I've never sang anything like that on stage before. So when I first listened to the song, I was obviously a little nervous and hesitant. But as I listened to it more and kind of adapted my voice to be able to sing like that, because, you know, I've only ever sang like Broadway tunes on stage. So to have to sing something that's like a little bit more country, not really my style, it's been a challenge, but it's been really fun and I really enjoy it.
Kind of expand your horizons a little bit. And
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I actually like a song I'm not in, which is God's Own Drunk. It's this opening
Oh, my
number.
goodness.
It's just, when I first listened to it, I was like, what is he talking about? What is going on? I don't know. But it was I was so impelled. I was just like, this guy is saying some crazy stuff. But it was just a funny song to listen to, and I love listening to it. And getting the chance to hear it, it's so much fun. It's a lot of fun.
And we do open the show with that. There's kind of a funny bit that goes along with that. I'm not going to give that away, but it was actually a song that was written by somebody else. It wasn't actually a Jimmy Buffett song. It was a monologue by Lord Buckley, who was a musician comedian back in the day, and that's where that comes from. But Jimmy Buffett's cover of it is pretty funny. I mean, when you're talking about, a 19-foot bear that's Walter, I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. And I can't say enough about these two young talents either. Their voices are fantastic. Their musicality is fantastic. As I get older, I have to work at stuff a little harder. But man, it's been nothing but a pleasure with the combo that we have, and I am so blessed.
Well, and you've been doing this, an awfully long time, Robbie, so you've sang with a lot of different people, so that's pretty high praise coming from you, yeah. And I would agree. I think, your voices, the two of you really blend together so well, and you just sound fantastic, and the entire show sounds great. I mean, great singers, fantastic musicians, and you put it all together, and you get Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett running at Camelot Theater through September the 1st. So get your tickets while they last at CamelotTheater.org. It is Robbie DaCosta, Autumn Smith, and Shalise Kadeen. Thank you, all three of you, for coming in and chatting with us on the podcast today.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian, so much.
You're the best.
Coming up next, it's our conversation with Camelot Theater's artistic director, Gwen Overland, who recently announced the 2025 season. It is going to be a very exciting year at Camelot, and you won't want to miss this conversation coming up next on the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast.
This episode of Where Broadway Meets Talent is brought to you by the Grotto Pizzeria at 302 East Main Street in Talent. You'll find amazing soups, salads, sandwiches, pizzas, and now their new Italian cannolis while supplies last. Order ahead at thegrottopizzeria.com for takeout and delivery. And The Grotto is now offering pickup and deliveries on Sundays too, from 5 to 8 p.m. to support talent and Phoenix Sunday suppers. Bring in a ticket stub from Camelot Theater and receive a 15% discount. The Grotto Pizzeria in Talent, proud sponsor of the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast.
It's the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast. From Camelot Theater in Talent, here's your host, Brian O'Connor.
And welcome back to the Where Broadway Meets Talent podcast from Camelot Theater in Talent on the corner of Broadway Alley and Talent Avenue. And we are joined now by Gwen Overland, the artistic director here at Camelot Theater. Welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I feel welcome.
Yeah. Now you have a long, rich history with this theater. Tell me how you got started and when you got started here.
Don't I ever? I got started here at Camelot when it was still the feed store.
Right.
And Liv Janice wanted desperately to do the one-woman show Masterclass about Maria Callas. And it wasn't a one-woman show, but it featured the one woman. And we had a couple of sopranos. And of course, we hired this young man who's been with us ever since, Carl Iverson, to play the piano. And it was a really enriching experience. Getting to know her, getting to know what Camelot Theater is, and of course, all the people involved. One of the sopranos that we cast was, of course, Becca Campbell. And she has gone on to star in shows and direct shows here and elsewhere. And I couldn't be more pleased.
And a great choreographer as well.
Oh, my goodness, isn't she? So, and we had such a good time on Something Rotten last year that I'll cherish that memory forever.
Mm-hmm.
But, and then I went on and did some acting at the theater and did some directing. And then we got this new theater where we're at now. And Liv asked me if I would be willing to direct the first show in the theater, which was Sweeney Todd. And that happened the summer of 2011. So I've had a long-standing time here. I took some time out to go back to graduate school. And then when I came back, Roy Raines invited me to direct Calendar Girls. And I think that was the winter of 2016, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the theater space here, the new space is quite wonderful. And I was not going to say no, even if I had to rearrange everything. And that deepened my experience here, and also gave me an opportunity to meet a new friend who was my assistant director at the time, and that was Haley Forsyth, who is now going to direct The Sound of Music, our holiday show, and do other things as well for us in the next season.
Hmm. And earlier this year, you were hired as the artistic director.
I know. I'm flabbergasted. It was a huge kerfuffle. Yeah, it just worked out. I knew that I could really do something for the theater, and to help it grow and to help it deepen in its quality and its professionalism. And I thought, well, I'll just, they probably won't hire me, but if they do, by gosh, I'm going to say yes. So that worked out. I think I began in March, and it's been very exciting and almost therapeutic for me to be here and to do the work that I've done, and to be greeted with such open arms by everyone who works here as well as the audience. Our donor gala was a wonderful day for us to celebrate the season, our new brochure, the new financial entities that we're talking about, new donation sponsorships and ticket sales and everything else, and to be a part of this podcast. I mean, I literally, not literally, I am metaphorically standing on my head. I can't physically stand on my head anymore.
So we were talking, you just mentioned the donor gala, and that is where we revealed our 2025 season, which is what we want to get into here.
Yes.
I think just looking at it, it is one of our most exciting seasons we've ever had here at the theater. Looking forward to all of these shows. So let's dive right into this with the first show, Spotlight on the Judds, which opens January 16th.
Right. We have 4 spotlights next year. And the spotlight on the Judds, Naomi and Winona, they're kind of a hot ticket in country music, or were until Naomi passed away. And it will feature Liv Janice and Becca Campbell, whom I just mentioned, and of course, Carl on the piano and the band. So we're excited about that. It's a great way to start off our spotlights. And both those ladies have a huge following, and we're so excited to have them celebrate with us this new season.
So when I started here many, many years ago, we always did musicals and spotlights, and we also had a nice selection of dramas, straight plays that we did.
Yes.
And there was a period recently where we kind of got away from those dramas, and it was all musicals. And now we are starting to get back into those straight plays. Very excited about The Price from Arthur Miller, which is our second show next year.
Yes. I was not as familiar with this play, but Todd Nielsen, who's kind of my academic dramaturg in my life to give me advice and to turn me on to certain plays, gave me a copy, and I read it, and I thought, oh, this is just perfect for the theater. So we'll be having auditions soon after sodas for that particular production. I love it. It's about family dynamics, about how what you think is being done in the family that really isn't being done, and how that can just seep over into years of frustration and anger and missed out opportunities to share family kindnesses and so on. And so there's a price you pay when you act that way, and or if you don't act that way, either way. So you have to kind of think, as Arthur Miller would say, you have to follow the moral choice for you, and to understand that whether it's right or wrong, it's a price. And are you willing to stand up for that?
Getting the Price from Arthur Miller runs February 19th through March 2nd. So just a couple of weekends on that. So you'll definitely want to get your tickets.
I want to add that we're starting up the conservatory program here at Camelot and doing it far differently than we have in the past. So we're going to offer a production for students only of the dramas that we're doing. It'll be a Saturday afternoon at noon, one Saturday of the run. And we have teacher guides to hand out to area school teachers and so on who might want to teach the play, have the students have some background before they come. And we want to make it economically feasible for young people to do this. So our conservatory program is about learning about the play, about learning about it in class and also on the stage with a talk back with the actors and director, and also having an opportunity to see something that they normally wouldn't have a chance to see here at Camelot.
What a great experience for the kids. I wish that I had had something like that.
Well, I did, and I'm really grateful for it.
Mm-hmm.
I had my seat at the Seattle Symphony and the Seattle Repertory Theater and the Tacoma Art Museum and the Tacoma Washington State Natural Museum, Natural Science Museum, and we just got on a bus and went, and I felt so much a part of what was going on in my world, and not just virtually, but what do I say?
Viscerally.
Viscerally, yes.
That word.
Yeah, that word. Probably viciously too, because I got in trouble once for talking too much on the school bus. But and you can see I still have a problem with that. But yeah, it was, and I think that growing up around that really forced me to understand that there was a life of the theater, not just in film and TV, but there was a life of the theater, and I wanted to be a part of it, no matter how I could be, and I was.
So following the Price, we will get into our second spotlight of the year, Spotlight on Loggins and Messina, which opens in March.
Yes,
I love those guys.
Yes, especially Loggins. We know probably a little bit better because when he branched off from Jim Messina, he wrote a lot of music for films and plays and children's shows and so on, and had his own career, his own solo career. But I'm excited about Dave Bernard and the East Main Band. I mean, these guys are just tremendous, and who knows how much longer they're going to be able to do this, but they want to do it. We want them here, so that's what we're doing, and I can hardly wait for that as well.
And their fans definitely want them here as well. So
my favorite tune, Home and Pooh Corner.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So
it's going to be a great spotlight.
Yeah.
After that, a musical, and it's actually a musical I didn't know too much about, City of Angels.
City of Angels. I saw it in L.A. when I lived there. Imagine that. The City of Angels is, of course, Los Angeles, and it's a great musical in that it tells a clever story in a clever way in a film noir type of scenography. The story of a writer who's he's struggling to write a film script on a book. And while he's writing this film script, he keeps having these kind of imaginary interventions with his persona in the film that he's trying to write. And before you know it, these people come to life. And so there's this world of the writer and there's the world of the written characters, and they intersect. The music is kind of a jazz-oriented type, cool jazz, as well as, the high-lows and the Four Freshmen and that kind of harmony. We would think of Manhattan Transfer probably today, or Take Six, or one of those Boys to Men, one of those kind of groups. So I think it's going to be beautifully done. We're really excited about Todd Nielsen directing and about Don Harris doing the musical direction.
City of Angels runs April 16th through May 11th next year. And Tennessee Williams is on the docket here.
Yes, our second drama of the American Masters Drama Series is The Glass Menagerie. And it's Tennessee Williams. He is He is beloved, even though I think he is forgotten with so much going on today. And this piece is such a great exercise for actors, but also for audiences. Beautifully written. His first successful play, autobiographical in many ways, and that launched his career both as a theater playwright as well as a screenwriter. Um, it's about family dynamic. It's about a young man who's struggling to be himself with a very demanding mother and a sister. He's got a sister who is mentally and physically challenged, and how that dynamic plays out, and how he is forced to make a decision to what to do with his life, given his dreams and aspirations. Zach Verdon, who's one of our main actors, is going to be directing. I'm so excited about that. I could just once again stand on my head, which I'm not going to do, but I have in the past a time or two. And I think he's going to do just an absolutely beautiful job with that play.
Absolutely. And that runs May 21st through June 1st. And then we get into a very funny show. And it's a show that you have a unique connection to that we want to talk about.
Oh, my gosh.
Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will by
Yes.
Del Shores.
Oh, my God. My good buddy, Dale. Well, this play is the center play of a 3-play trilogy, right? So Cheatin' was the first one. Daddy's Dying is the second one. And The Daughters of the Lone Star State is the third. I was Sarah Lee in Cheatin' in Los Angeles, and that was a great opportunity for me to work. And I already knew Del from church, and we had become fast friends. Then when he decided to do Cheatin', I was able to be another character in that family named Lurleen. And Lurleen is an evangelist's wife, and she's always ready to tell people how good they look from a kind of sideways non-compliment. I don't know how else to explain it. And she's absolutely sickening in the family, but they love her all the same. I also did that production in Seattle and elsewhere. And now I have aged into the role in Daddy's Dying of the matriarch, which is Mama Wheelis, Lois Wheelis. And I'm the grandmother of the the grandmother of the father, the daddy who is dying. That's my son-in-law. I've already lost my daughter. And then the children, the grandchildren, they'll come and visit, and they pay their daddy respects, but it's more about trying to figure out what's going on with the will. And of course, nobody's ever experienced that, right?
No, not at all.
And Del's going to direct. He's going to come up from LA, from the Hollywood Hills, and direct for us and do some classes and some talkbacks, and perhaps even a short play that talks about how he came about writing that trilogy. And I'm just so excited. He's the same Del Shores that wrote Sordid Lives, A Very Sordid Wedding, and also Southern Baptist Sissies. I mean, I love him. I love this show. And I know the audience will as well.
It's always exciting when we actually have the playwright come into town.
Oh, yes.
And direct and and like you said, do talkbacks and get involved with it such as he's going to. So very excited to have that happen.
He's a great person. He's just a great guy.
Daddy's Dying, Who's Got the Will runs June 11th through July 6th. And then we get into our summer musical, and people expect us to do big things in the summer, and we are not going to disappoint next summer with Guys and Dolls.
Oh, what a nugget. I tell you, the young people who perform for us here at the theater are just as excited by this play that was written in probably in the 40s. It's set in the 20s and 30s of Bronx. We've gone from Los Angeles with City of Angels, and now we're in the Bronx with Guys and Dolls. And so, but it's a rip snorter. It's got great songs that everybody knows or at least familiar with, and lots of dancing and just costumes and the aura. And I'm just so grateful that Rick Robinson from the Oregon Cabaret Theater has agreed to direct it.
We are talking with Gwen Overland, the artistic director here at Camelot Theater, getting into our 2025 season, which we just announced at a donor gala just a couple of weeks ago. And we're going to continue on because after Guys and Dolls, which runs July 16th through August 17th, we will get into our third spotlight of the year, and that is Spotlight on the Highwaymen, country supergroup.
Yes, guitars are us. The Highwaymen they played for about 5 years together, had a lot of hits, and basically they were four country artists that had success already individually in their career. Chris Christopherson, Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, and Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash.
Yeah, and so they sang together. They sang their own songs. They toured. And it's just I think it's going to be delightful. Larry Smith, a crazy bassist, and who has musically directed us several times this season. He's in charge of that, and I think it's going to be just a lot of fun.
These guys, by the time they formed this group, I mean, they certainly weren't doing this for the money. I mean, this was just them getting together to have fun and get out there and play some incredible music.
Well,
so,
and I think they really, they knew that Waylon was having health issues.
Mm-hmm.
I know Chris Christopherson was really trying to learn about being a star, a lasting star, a better person, a good career idealist, and from Willie Nelson, who taught him basically yoga and meditation and a few other things. So we only have a short time on this earth, it seems, and these guys knew that and got together and made magic out of it.
Absolutely. Spotlight on the Highwaymen. It runs August 28th through September 21st next year. Not this year. Don't get your tickets thinking you're going to come see it this month because it's not. It's a totally different show. But that is for next August. Back-to-back spotlights on the schedule for 2025. We'll get into our fourth and final one. And that is Spotlight on Tony Bennett duets.
That's right. I had no idea until I researched Tony Bennett and that he did 3 albums of duets. I knew he had done one with Katie Lang, and I knew Lady Gaga, of course, but I had no idea that he did, he had people come and work with him over and over on these wonderful duets, great songs, rearranged for duets. And we're actually going to have, once again, Don Harris will be back to play, Todd will be directing, and Todd Nielsen, and then we'll also have probably 4 backup singers to support the young man who's playing the Tony Bennett role, which is our own Austin Kelly. Oh my gosh.
That guy can sing anything.
Oh my gosh. And I'm so excited about this because every generation loves Tony Bennett. Every single one. It isn't like just because he passed away last year at the age of 90 whatever, that it's only of that generation. No, he overlaps. He's an icon, and the music is going to be absolutely juicy. It'll be a jazz trio that will back him up, and it'll be on stage. It'll be just lovely.
Spotlight on Tony Bennett duets. That will run September 25th through October 19th next fall. And our final, well, it's not really our final, I guess it is our final drama, which will open October the 29th, and that is Bus Stop.
Oh, boy. This is, it's a drama, but it's a romance. And it's got a lot of romantic notions in it. It was a film with Marilyn Monroe as Sherry, and of course she was wonderful. But so those are the 3 dramas: The Price, The Glass Menagerie, and Bus Stop. I'm so thrilled about these. They will be sold as a package, and they only run it. They have a shorter run, but I think and of course they're connected to the conservatory. And but I still am very excited about it because I think they're going to really places theater on the map in more ways than just one or two.
And then we're going to close 2025 with something very cool. It's Hansel and Gretel, a panto tale. Now, for those who don't know what a panto is, Gwen is going to tell us.
A panto is basically a spoof. It's a free-for-all. Usually, well, more often than not, for everyone in the family. It's gentle humor. It's big belly laughs. It's music. It's dancing. It's creative scenography. It's just about having a jolly, good time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the best way to describe it, if people remember the movie Amadeus, when the people, Schikaneder at the Public Theater, wanted to present the people with his version, his panto version of Don Giovanni, which is a very dark opera about the death of the guy who's been horsing around with all the women of the town. They did this big spoof, and of course, didn't have anything to do with Don Giovanni other than Don Giovanni and a horse and crazy demons coming up out of the ground and over the sky and so on. So if you saw that crazy production within a play within the play of Amadeus, you'll know exactly what that is. We're looking for some great fun, like I said, and we'll actually have a live music for this last production, this holiday production. Pantos are very popular in Europe. They've been popular all over the world for ages. Anytime there's a strict government censure of plays, or it would cost a great deal of money to do those censored plays at approved theaters, you're going to have people who are going to sneak around and try to do the best that they can to try to present what they have gleaned from just listening to people talk about the production. I'm so glad that these are coming back. Jimmy Giancarlo did them for years at the Cabaret Theater when he was artistic director. He directed and wrote them as well. And quite frankly, I've missed them.
I did not know that. Yeah. Okay.
So I remember Cinderella had the sisters Lotzarella and Mozzarella and, things like that. I mean, it was just crazy. So I'm really looking forward to that particular production and actually the entire season.
Hansel and Gretel, a panto tale, runs November 19th through December 31st of next year. And all of these shows you can get more information for at CamelotTheater.org. And as of the recording of this episode, tickets not on sale yet, but they will be here soon. So check our website for that. So let me ask you, when you're thinking about a season, and this is an exciting season, and this is going to be big, what goes into your decision making as far as picking shows and trying to find that balance that I think you've achieved for next year?
Yeah, good question. I think number one about our audience, because if they feel that they are watching something that angers them or frustrates them or makes them feel inappropriately uneasy, then we haven't done our job here at Camelot, because this is an all-embracive theater, a heartfelt organization, and we want to lift people's spirits at the same time, give them something beyond just hamburger and fries. So first the audience. Then I think about who do we have on our repertoire? Who's worked for us before? What would these directors like to direct? What would these musical directors like to rearrange and compose and play? What would our actors be good in and yet be challenged by at the same time? And finally, what can we afford? And how much can we really ask of our donor population in order to make this happen? And so I think if they see how exciting the season is and why it's been developed and feel really a part of it because it's designed for them, then I think we've done our job here of being a true community theater. That we're not a community theater and a nonprofit because we're less than professional, but we're professional in that we really pay attention to the community and the community's influence and the community beyond just, the mainstream. We really believe in diversity. We believe in inclusiveness. And we want our season to show that as well.
Right. And I think you have done a good job of putting this season together. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, I do too.
Yeah.
I'm already having fun with it. Now,
Yeah.
I still got to wait 5 months.
Which leads me to bring up the point that we still have 4 more shows in this season. We have Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett currently running. Scapino, a very funny show that opens September 11th. Spotlight on Cat Stevens. Eric Connolly will be coming back
Yes.
for that. That is in October. And then we'll close out the 2024 season with the timeless classic, The Sound of Music. So still some incredible shows this season.
Absolutely.
And then a very exciting season for 2025. Gwen Overland, Artistic Director for Camelot Theater, thank you so much for sitting down with us.
You're welcome. This has been a blast.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Where Broadway Meets Talent. I want to thank all of our guests, Robbie DaCosta, Shalise Kadeen, and Autumn Smith from Spotlight on Jimmy Buffett, and also Gwen Overland, Artistic Director at Camelot Theater, for going over the 2025 season with us. Coming up next month, another great episode. We're going to be talking to the cast of Scapino, which opens September 11th, directed by Alex Boyles. Also, Eric Connolly, who has done many shows at Camelot, including one of the biggest selling spotlights in the theater's history, Spotlight on Roy Orbison. In fact, he did that a couple of different times for Camelot. He's going to be coming back in October with Spotlight on Cat Stevens. That is all next month. We are on Spotify, so subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we will talk to you again next month. I'm Brian O'Connor. Thanks for listening.